What I'm about to do here now is to talk about a topic which was yesterday on my agenda a lot, because I was in Glasgow at the COP26, and of course it was a quite interesting trip there. I was not quite sure about going there, what to expect, and would it be worth it. I met there at the Swedish pavilion together with the CEOs of Volvo Cars. Of course, Håkan was there. There was Volvo AB, Martin, and Scania there, and we actually discussed together with the politician there from Sweden about what is expected from us, the industry, and what is expected from the politicians to be doing now in the next years. Now, I came back from Glasgow actually quite positive, because finally what I found was that for once we did not have to talk anymore about, is EV now, is electrification the future, or wouldn't it be better to, go for even better combustion engine or whatever. No, it was for the first time actually turning towards the right questions and the right topics for the future. And I think it would be good to share what we think are the topics of the future, and what us now finally having landed in the future of electrification, what is it what we have to tackle now that we have this as the main prerequisite. And that's what my speech here will be reflecting. It is easy here for me to stand here in Oslo, and I will read that now because it's very programmatic. It's not as free as I would like it to be, so excuse me for being a bit now hung up to the prompter. It's not easy for me. It would be easy for me here today in Oslo to run through all the reasons why electric cars are going to change the world. Too easy. Instead, I stand now here in front of you with a more uncomfortable message. The electric car industry is in danger of committing the same sin as the internal combustion engine car industry did before. To not be transparent about the emissions, the CO2 burden involved in how an EV is made. What about the emissions involved in the substances that it's made out of? What about what happens to it after it is no longer being driven? These are simple questions, but difficult answers. Polestar, we conducted a life cycle assessment, an LCA, for our cars, for the Polestar 2. LCAs, life cycle assessments, consider a range of factors in a car's life cycle, from supply to manufacture to recycling, and can be used to calculate a product's climate impact in one easily understood number. Its conclusion made for tough reading. So, what did our own LCA tell us? It showed that a Polestar 2 leaves the factory gate with a carbon footprint of 26 tons. It's electric, absolutely, but it's not emission-free in that respect. It was completely obvious that if we were going to take our climate responsibility seriously, then we need to restructure our entire industrial model. This means clean supply chains, emission-free manufacturing, zero impact materials. The list goes on. The LCA tells us that an electric car is a good start, but that much more work needs to be done. It also provides an easy-to-use tool for general public to assess which cars out there are genuinely the most climate responsible. A simple number attached to every car for sale that allows buyers to judge how clean it is. You might think that a standardized LCA methodology would be something that the car industry as a whole would welcome, as it allows customers to make informed choices about which cars are clean, but far from it. To date, Polestar and Volvo Cars are the only car companies to make the full details of a life cycle assessment available to the customers. The auto industry needs to work hard to regain the trust it lost as a result of Dieselgate scandal. Deliberately preventing customers from making informed choices is not the way to build that trust. We are committed to make the changes our LCA told us needed. Cleaner supply lines, climate rules for suppliers, emission-free manufacturing, sustainable materials, full recyclability. It's a long and it's a growing list. Ignoring the lessons is just part of the problem with the old industry way of doing things. There are car makers out there continuing to develop petrol and diesel cars. I do not mean continuing to make existing internal combustion engines. I mean committing billions of dollars to develop new ones. These are resources that should instead be invested in developing electric cars that can eventually pass the LCA test. It is, in my view, unacceptable for any car maker to be developing new internal combustion engines. And you know that yesterday the car industry tried to join one common paper to actually define the end date for the internal combustion engine, and even then they could not agree on that one date, which is far out there, 2020 to 2035 to 40. So there is still even not a commitment for that. Next page, please. So, will we get there to a car that leaves the gate, the fabric gate, with a zero CO2 footprint? Honestly, we don't have the answer today. But we have a strong belief that with creativity and innovations that will be made along the way to 2030, we will find the solutions. So we made that commitment and said we will develop and strive for a car that by 2030 will leave our factory gate with a zero emission footprint. That is our moonshot goal, the project Polestar Zero that we committed to. We will keep all our customers completely up to date on our progress, so that they know exactly what they're buying and where we are on this pathway, so that we pave this pathway to a cleaner climate with trust from the customers and the consumers, which I think they deserve that transparency, and we need their trust along that journey. Thank you.